So in the beginning of this year, I realized I was spending a lot of time on social media and it was really taking away from a lot of the other things that I wanted to do in life. I'm trying to build my business, my online business, and I realized it was becoming really difficult for me to focus because I was spending so much time on social media. So I realized I needed to go on a purge, and that was sort of the beginning of this year. So I can't remember exactly when I quit it. I think it may have been sometime either in the spring or summer. It was some point in between there. I can't remember the exact point that I quit it. So I noticed immediately when I started deleting social media apps some of the benefits, but I also started to realize some of the main problems with it. So the first one is simply that you are the product. In these modern times, essentially what's happening is you are becoming the product for all these sort of quote unquote free social media apps. So social media is free, yeah, but it's not really because you have to trade your time and attention for the content on there. And the other thing is that they gather all of your metadata, they gather all your information, and then they will sell it to advertisers and things. Now, that's not really a huge deal because honestly, if you use the internet, the government or any corporation, if they want to find your information, they can. It's not like a big deal. But the main problem is that your attention is being taken, right? Even when you watching this video, you clicked on this video on YouTube, your attention is being spent right now, which is valuable because you've only got so much attention and time to spend in this life, right? It's a finite thing, and anything that's finite is valuable. So your time and attention is valuable. So on these social media apps, you are the product, and they're essentially taking your attention and, like for advertisers and for money and stuff like that. And so I realized that I am the product and my time is being wasted because I'm spending it scrolling through all these like apps and it's not really giving me anything back except just taking my attention away from the things I need to be doing to actually live a better life. The second thing is that all these social media apps, I don't know if you've noticed this, but they're all moving towards this sort of short form content style, which means shorts, TikTok, Instagram reels. It's all short form crap. And so what happens is over time, your attention span lowers. You might not even be able to finish this video because your attention span has gotten that bad. And I know my attention span was suffering big time and continues to suffer anytime I start getting on social media and watching short form content because your brain starts getting used to getting quick dopamine hits and dopamine sort of releases by watching the short form content. And they know this. And so it's really easy to rack up a ton of views. But the problem with that is it ruins your attention span over time. So it becomes harder for you to focus on doing hard things like starting up a business or going to the gym or any of the things to really improve your life and get to that point where you're living your dream life. It gets really hard to get to that point when you're constantly consuming short, quick content where you don't really need to think or use any critical thinking skills. So then there's simply just how much time it takes out of your life, right? Think of how much time you could save if you weren't on social media constantly 24/7 on your phone. There's one thing I want you to try doing, and this is an experiment I did. Go to the App Store or Google Play or whatever, download this app called, I think it's called Stay Free. And it's basically what it is it tracks your usage on your phone. So don't do anything right now in terms of your social media apps or whatever. Just for a week, just download this app called Stay Free, right? Turn on all the things so that it's tracking everything. I want you to literally go for 1 week and just literally do whatever you normally do on your phone, social media, YouTube, whatever. At the end of the next week, literally look on Stay Free, the app Stay Free. Look and see how much time you spent over this past week. Look how much time you spent every single day, bro. I guarantee you it'll be hours upon hours upon hours. So that's what I realized was that I was spending so much time on social media and I wasn't really getting anything back. And I realized I was spending literally almost a full work week in terms of hours on social media. And I was like, what the heck? And it's just, I was an addict, bro. I was literally an addict to social media and it was literally stealing my life. The last problem I noticed is that it really fucks with your mental health and it can really make you depressed because when you're on social media, Facebook, Instagram, you're looking at all these other people and all their lives and all the highlight reels and everything. You start to focus on what you're lacking instead of what you have. You start to lose the gratitude and the understanding of how good your life is and how good you have it just because you see some quote unquote multimillionaire, whatever, flying around, living in luxury, or your friends or whatever got married or had kids or, went on this vacation or just got this promotion. You're always being exposed to the highlights, the best parts of people's lives because none of us really show off the the failures that we have or like the hard parts of life, right? Like none of us really show that off on social media. It's a highlight reel of the best moments. And so if you don't or if you get stuck in that comparison trap, the social media comparison trap, it can really mess up your mental health and make you feel alone, depressed, sort of angry, and you lose that sense of gratitude and just happiness and fulfillment that you'd have every day just living your life, So those are some of the problems that I noticed with it. And so what I did was simply delete the apps, right? And it's mostly like there's 5 social media platforms that I would consider really social media. So there's Facebook, right? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Snapchat, I guess. So for me, Snapchat isn't something that I'm really that addicted to because I just simply use it to send like my friends and family photos and videos because it's so much easier than doing it over text because it doesn't like compress the file. That's literally all I use it for. But I know that there's some people who use it for like the highlights and stuff and looking at their friends' profiles and stuff like that. So if you're addicted to Snapchat, I would definitely consider that social media and I would delete it. But for me, it's just not something that I'm addicted to. I spend literally no time on it. The only time I go on to it is I use it like kind of like my texting app on my phone to send pictures or videos and or just quick communication to like my friends or family. So that's not really a big deal for me. But the other ones, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, those really sucked me in and so much time was being spent on those. So those were the 5 things that I focused on and those were the ones that I deleted. So what I did was I simply logged out of my accounts and deleted them off my phone. Some people will recommend that you delete your entire account. For me, I didn't feel like that was necessary and I didn't feel like that was something I needed to do because I wasn't so addicted that I would literally bypass the login and all this crap. So if you're someone who seems really addicted to it, you might have to actually delete your entire account, which is taking it pretty far, yeah. But if you think about how much time this is going to save you and how in the future, how much more wealthy you could be, how much more healthier you could be, how much more time you could spend with your relationships is way worth it. So here's what you can do. You can change your password and then log out and then delete the app so that if you re-download it and you go to log back in, you're like, oh crap, I don't know what my password is. And you'd have to go through that whole process of resetting it, which is a pain in the ass. If that's like not enough for you, then you might have to actually delete the entire app. But for me, I wasn't that addicted, so that worked for me. Just logging out or just changing my password, logging out, and getting rid of the app. Okay. So you may have some objections to this. Some of the things that came up in my mind when I was thinking about deleting it was number one, like I run a business or I'm a content creator. For me, I create content on the internet. So it's kind of difficult to delete social media because it's like, well, I need to actually create content. Now, the thing about that is you can still, if you keep your account and you delete the apps off your phone, you can still go on desktop and post like your images or whatever that you need to post for your content creation. Alternatively, you could also get a separate cheap phone just to sort of use on mobile mode for that and then just kind of keep it hidden away when you aren't doing it. The point is you don't want these apps on your personal phone. You do not want these apps on your personal phone because it's just a disaster and it's going to steal all your time. Another one is, well, how am I supposed to communicate with my friends and family? For this one, I think it's pretty easy to say essentially anyone who's in your close circle or in your life that you should really be spending time with, you probably already have their number. You probably already hang out. And if you don't, you can just simply text them on your social media and be like, hey, I'm deleting my social media app. You're not gonna be able to send me messages. Can you give me your number so we can actually talk? Everything else is really a distraction. All these quote unquote friends you have on social media, probably not really your friends in reality. They're probably just more like acquaintances. So you're not really losing much by deleting the apps. Another one was, well, I use social media for educational purposes and learning things. And for me, the 5 other social medias I mentioned, those don't really offer much value to me. Maybe Twitter a little bit. Again, that can be done on your desktop. And this is the thing about doing all this on desktop. The great thing about if you go on these social media platforms on desktop, they aren't optimized for desktop. So it's super easy to get on there and just be like, dude, this sucks. Like I'm getting off. I don't spend much time. They're really optimized for mobile and they're really optimized for those quick in between moments in the day where maybe you're at the grocery store and you're waiting in line. Oh, okay, quick, let me just pull this out. Let me go on Instagram, Facebook. Or, I'm sitting at home, I'm bored. Okay, quick, let me pull this out. But if you have to go on desktop, you have to log in, you have to go, it's not optimized for that. And I never had a problem with going on desktop and just spending a little bit of time on there doing what I need to do. So I can go on there and check Twitter. I can go on there and check my Instagram and Facebook if I really, for some reason, need to, if I need to post something. It's mostly, the time suck mostly comes from the mobile apps. That's really where the time suck comes from because, like I said, it's all these in-between moments. Now, I did not bring up YouTube. Now, the reason I didn't bring up YouTube was because initially when I deleted social media apps earlier this year, what happened was I didn't think about YouTube. I didn't think about YouTube being social media because I've always had YouTube and I've always used it to learn things. I mean, obviously entertainment, but I've always used it for those kind of things. And it never really has someone's social media profile in terms of like seeing what they're doing in life. So I didn't think of it as social media. However, over time, I realized, holy shit, I'm spending an insane amount of time on YouTube. So that's a whole nother discussion. YouTube is a whole nother beast to tackle in terms of how to deal with that. So I'm not going to get into that in this video, but just know that I will make another video about when it comes to YouTube. But for now, I'm not going to get into it because it's just way too big of a discussion. This video will be literally an hour long. And like I said, if you need to post stuff, you want to still post things to your friends, just go on desktop. Just go on desktop, go on your internet browser and just post a photo to Instagram or make a thing on Facebook or whatever. You don't need to be on your phone. So just do it on desktop and then log off or whatever, and you can still post and just do stuff via desktop. And it's going to save you so much time because, like I said, it's not optimized for desktop, and using it on desktop sucks. You have to realize most of this is FOMO, right? It's fear of missing out. It's a fear of, oh, am I going to miss that party? Oh, what if I miss some event that happened? And these people who designed this software, they've tapped into that. They've tapped into FOMO. It's one of the biggest human psychological triggers is FOMO, right? You're afraid. Fear of missing out. You're afraid of missing an event or missing a social thing, right? It's all tied into your status. And so you're addicted by design. This isn't, I mean, it is your fault. We have to take accountability, and we have to take accountability so we can take action, but it's not totally your fault. It's not 100% your fault because your dopamine wiring within your brain is being literally hacked. It's being hacked and it's being triggered to go after these things. So we just have to understand they spend millions and millions, if not billions of dollars, hundreds of millions, maybe even billions of dollars to figure out how to keep you on these apps longer. It's designed that way because that's how they make their money, by farming your attention, right? And then selling that to advertisers or whatever. They have to farm your attention, keep you on the platform so that you actually can make them money. So they spend all this money going into it on how to do that. And so you are literally going up against them. It's you versus them. So you can either sit on social media and be like, oh, I'm going to try to get off. I need to get off now. Or, oh, it's fine. I'll just do it once in a while. It's not going to work because they've literally spent all this money to learn how to hack into your brain and keep you addicted. And how much money have you spent trying to figure out how to not do that? None, right? You've probably spent no money thinking about or spending or on research on how I can not be addicted to social media. The only thing you may have spent is your time watching videos like this one, right? So you're going up against them and you don't really stand a chance. So what I realized was the best thing that I can do is just literally delete these apps off my phone. And there's nothing I'm really missing in the end of the day. So that's what I think that you should do, is just delete these apps. Stop trying to play the game of, oh, only gone once in a while or whatever, because the reality is if you look at that Stay Free app at the end of the week, you'll notice how much time you spent in all these in-between moments where you felt bored, or you felt maybe like you were procrastinating, or there was something you didn't want to do, so you just kind of entertaining yourself. And all these moments you could have been using to think about problems in your own life and make your life better. But now it's being sucked up by social media, right? So that's really the problem with it. Now, you will go through a withdrawal period, right? There's going to be a withdrawal, just like anything else that you quit. There's going to be a withdrawal. You may feel bored. You may feel kind of angry. That's the whole thing, is that when you quit these things, now you have free space. Now you have more energy to put into something. So think about maybe putting that into your hobbies. Think about putting that time now in with your family and friends, building real relationships. Think about going outside and doing real things. Think about putting that into your business so that you can actually make more money and escape like the 9-to-5 trap and all this crap if you have a job that you don't like. Think about using that to improve your health, right? Going to the gym, finding new ways and educating yourself, reading books. This is all stuff that you can do, and it becomes easier because when you aren't getting the quick hit from all the shorts and all the content constantly, now the hard things become fun. The hard things, that's one of the biggest hacks. The hard things become fun because there's nothing else to do. What the fuck else are you going to do? There's no social media, right? There's no social media for you to constantly be on. Oh. And so now all you can do is literally, oh, well, let me go to the gym. Oh, let me sit down and work on my business. Oh, let me go read a book. Oh, let me hang out and have a conversation with this person. So those things become fun because you've removed all the distraction and all the easy, what's called cheap dopamine out of your lifestyle. So that's my experience with social media. I'm going to be making more videos on this. Now, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. When I went on a trip to Thailand this year, and when I got back, I wanted to post some content. I wanted to post some images. So I downloaded Instagram, Facebook, all this crap again. They hooked me. They hooked me again. And so it's only been over this past month that I basically decided to re-delete everything again, because I started posting on mobile, and sure enough, because I was doing it on mobile, they got me. I should have gone on my desktop and just done it from my desktop. But so this is something that you're not just going to probably do once and it's all going to be solved. It's going to be a process of sort of weaning yourself off of it and getting used to a lifestyle without it. So don't feel bad if, you do what I did, where it's like you quit for a few months, you notice everything's going great, then something triggers you to download the app and somehow like maybe log in or whatever, and you feel like you're re-addicted to it. This is a process that's going to take time of you really weaning off of it and getting over it. So that's my experience. I'm going to make more videos on this topic, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.